So today we're going to be doing something a little different. It's actually a nice day out. I'm going to teach you guys some tricks. I haven't been able to really go out, but today we got a nice day, so I'm going to do my best to teach you guys to do ollie 180, shove it, and kickflip. So I'll teach you guys 4 tricks today. Okay, so I just got ready, guys. About to head up to the spot. We can teach you these tricks. Appreciate you guys dropping ideas, participating, really helping create a community. I'm gonna set you guys up, and then we'll probably do like a little talking section just to get you guys familiar with the tricks, and then we'll get into actually learning them. Okay guys, so to start off, we're gonna learn how to ollie. This is definitely one that a lot of people have been asking me on how to do it, and it's really not that hard. Once I break it down for you, you're gonna see it's like super easy. So first thing I want you to do before you like try to jump in the air or do anything is I want you to work on the landing, because the landing is kind of the hardest part. Start out with your tail on the floor, and I want you to just jump on your board like this. Do that a couple of times until it feels comfy, and that is how you land your ollie. So you want to make sure that when you're doing it, you're jumping and then squatting when you actually jump on the board. I want you to really pay attention to jumping in the air and then squatting when you land on your boards. Jump and squat. That's the first step. Okay, so step 2, after you do this a few times and you get comfortable, right, I want you to start going like this, so you can start to understand how you actually pop your board. The way that the ollie comes up is, this is a seesaw, so if this side goes down, then this side is going up. So you need to understand that you need to push this side down before anything goes up. It won't be able to get in the air if you don't have a confident pop, just like this. You can do all different sorts of ranges. You can like push it as hard as you can. You can push it softly. See what works for you, but I want you to make sure you hear this sound. Hear my tail slapping the floor. You need to make sure you hear that sound. That's step 2. Step 3, this is the fun part. Now we're gonna actually learn how to jump and get in the air. Most people think that when you ollie, you need to jump off both your feet like this, and they end up doing that. The secret that I'm gonna give you guys, this is what helped me, and I didn't really notice this until I started teaching like other kids and adults, but it's a hop and it's not a jump. So once I lift this up, right, lift this foot up, now the seesaw is going to happen because I lifted this foot up, right? So when I lift this up, that side goes down because of my weight, right, the seesaw. Then as this goes down, that's when you take your hop. Instead of jumping like this, just what most people do, they end up like that. Take a hop, and get yourself an ollie. The reason I say to do a hop is because if you jump off of this foot, and instead of jumping off both your feet, you'll start to understand the leveling out when it goes like that. Because this part is just your pop. So getting in the air and doing this is you just popping the board hard. Now when you get in the air and you go like that, now you actually have a real ollie. So it will start out like this. You see it's still like slanted if you look closely. And I'll make sure to slow-mo it so you guys can really see what I'm talking about. But when I do the hop, it ends up like this. Only difference is, one, I'm just jumping like this, and one, I'm jumping like this. So make sure you do the hop. That's what's going to actually get you in the air. Step 4, this is it. This is what gives you a full-blown ollie. All you have to do is make sure you land it. So after you do the jump, after you do this part, right, you've been used to doing this. When you get in the air, relax and squat. Don't try to like force the board down to the ground. Don't try to like move your feet in a funny way so you land. So when you regularly jump in the air, you just go like that, right? You don't go like, you don't do all that. So I want you to just jump and follow your board to the ground. So when you take that ollie, you end up there. You see how I'm super squatted? Obviously that's like exaggerated, but I want to show you guys so you can actually understand. It should make your ollies a lot better and way more easier. Make sure that you practice this part. This is the most important of all these steps. Step 1, the land. Once you have that down, you should be able to land these every single try. Bear with me, this is my first tutorial vid. As I make more of these, I'll go more and more in depth so you guys can get an even better understanding. Now that you got your ollies down, let's move on to 180s. That's what a 180 is. In reality, this is what a 180 is without my board. See, this foot comes up first. Still a hop. Every jump that you do, you gotta understand that it's not this. It's this, and that will make a huge difference. This is a frontside 180. I think it's the easier of the two. Even though I like to back 180 things more, front 180 is definitely easier. Start off step 1, just get some kick turns in. Practice turning frontside, which would be towards your back. They're opposites, so front side is towards your back side is towards your front. Do small ones and work your way to the big ones. This is step 1 because it creates that momentum you need. So that's what you need to actually spin the board. Step 2, very similar to step 1, but I want you to just smack the tail when you kick turn. So now instead of doing this, right, now we're going to do this. Just do your best to turn around and hit your tail, and that will set you up for the pop. Step 3, now you actually have to pop them. In order to pop your 180, you're going to have to get used to pushing down, and as you push down, then turning. And it will create this motion. Step 3 is actually adding pop. Say you pop the board, and it's getting away from you every time, so you're doing this. That's happening because you're leaning back too much. What you need to do is practice landing one foot. Either pick front or back foot. If you're going to do one foot and ease your way up into actually landing it, it makes more sense to use your front foot as your one foot that you choose, but you can use either one. Go like that. Now you see that's still the 180. I just landed it with one foot. Practice popping and spinning, but actually holding it down with your one foot. That's probably what's going to happen to you guys. That time I tried to take my foot off and I couldn't, and it made me land it. I would say definitely if you find yourself the board like flying away from you when you're trying it, practice doing it one foot, practice doing it one foot, and when you're ready, just commit. Step 4. After you land your first one, even if it's like this, I want you to start focusing on your body. When you turn around, you're going to be going switch. Switch is just the opposite stance. You pop with your flicking foot, you flick with your popping foot. I'm goofy, so I ride like this. When I land my 180, I ride like this. Now I want you to focus on that land. The next part of the trick, and this is the last part of the trick, you just have to worry about the roll away. It's a 180. You end up turning switch. I'm going to show you a few right now just so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to exaggerate the rollout so you can really see how I use my body and turn around. even on some of them, you might catch yourself doing this, where you pop it, right? You turn and you're back here, and you're almost floating because you're caught in that pocket. When that happens, that's really what I'm preparing you for. That's why I want you to be okay with landing this switch. So if you feel the need to, this is just extra help. Do the same thing from step 1 in the ollie, but use the opposite feet. Let's get used to landing. And then I want you to aim for the bolts. That's how you front 180. Let's shove it. Let's teach you guys how to shove it. Shove it is when you pop the board and make the board do a 180, but your body doesn't. I'll do another one for you. Board is going to do a 180. My body is going to stay in the same direction. So there's two ways you can actually do this. You can do this with the scoop, or you can do this with the pop. You call that with scoop, you do it with pop. So your back foot is either going to go on the curve of the tail, so right here, the curve of the tail. If you want to scoop it, if you want to pop it, put it more towards the edge to the middle, so anywhere in this area. If you want pop, then put it on the end in the middle. So you want to be on this edge, but in the middle of the tail. And that will make it easier for you to pop. If you want to just scoop a shove, which is the easier way to land it, then you put it right on the curve of the tail. As you can see, as soon as I go to push down, it's already spinning. But that's just being in the curve of the tail. This is the difference. On the curve of the tail, when I push down, if you see it torques this way. When I'm on the middle of the tail on the edge, do you see the back wheels come up? That's how you get your pop. Same motion, just different foot placements. So that's where you put your back foot. For your front foot, I want you to stand on the board comfortably and then just turn it diagonal just a little bit. This will make it easier for you to throw the board in front of you. Okay, so step 2, actually landing the trick. So this is my popping foot, this is my flicking foot. I want you to just, that's the whole trick right there. Remember, everything in skateboarding is just a hop. And get your board, do it a couple times, just so you can get used to landing. One more time. That's what it will feel like. Now, after you've done this a bunch of times, you're super comfy with it, right? You feel like that would be nothing. You can land that all day. I want you to set up, right? Slightly slanted, in the curve, or in the middle, either one. Whichever one feels easier is the one that I suggest for you to do. So this is the secret to this trick. I want you to think about the rockstar kick. You've seen everybody do it. That's the movement. That's the movement. You see how in order to do that, I have to jump off of this foot, and then as I'm kicking this leg is coming back. It's going like this, and it creates that. That is what the trick actually is. Camera died. What you want to do is slightly slanted in the curve, right? And as you go, don't push it forward, don't push it backwards. All I want you to do is think about the hop. Remember, that's step 1. This is what the trick is. Do you see it? Pay attention to the hop. Pay attention to the hop. Right? I set my feet up slightly slanted in the curve so I can just do a shove, make it nice and easy for myself. Then I get ready. I make sure all I'm doing is the hop. I'm not trying to jump or to do anything. All I'm doing is hopping forward a little bit, and you end up with the trick. Practice this right here. That's the shove it motion. So when you do this, that's it. Because I'm scraping it so crazy, it's making it spin super fast. The lighter you do it, the easier it is for you to land. So you don't want to push it as hard as you can because that's how you slip out. You want to just give it just enough. So the thing I see most people have trouble on is they'll do a shove it, but it will end up going in front of them like that, and that's because you're stretching your front foot. So instead of doing this one, like I said, you're doing this, and that's why it's ending up diagonal or in front of you, or not basically where you can land it. It's in front of you. It's in front of you. This is a trick that goes in front of you. If you find yourself, you're doing a shove it, and every time you're landing one foot like this, one foot like this, one foot like that, that's because you're doing this instead of doing this. Get me? It should be just a small hop forward. Small hop forward. That's how you shove. To all the people who made it this far, sticking around in the video, appreciate you guys. And I'm gonna teach you guys a bonus trick. This is a fan favorite. Everybody loves this trick. It's the kickflip. Put your tail on the ground, and the first thing I want you to do is practice flicking. So go like that, anywhere in this area. For landing it, I suggest doing this. When you start to get confident, jump 2 feet. Then you start to figure out how to flick it. Set up and flick. So you have to do this. To get that down, all you have to do in order to land it is to flick. And when you flick, you need to keep your feet in over the bolts. Just keep your feet like this. That makes you land it. So it's easier said than done, but it definitely takes a little bit of time. It took me probably like a year to learn how to kickflip, but we also didn't have all the help that you guys have. So hopefully you guys can learn this in like a month or 2. But really focus when you get that flick, when you get this part, really focus on flicking the board and then staying still. Don't move. As soon as you flick it, just let it happen. Okay guys, so that was my trick tips. Now that we went over all those tricks, here's just like a little bit of skating with majority of those tricks like in the clips, just so you can see how they look. Alright guys, so I'm gonna start packing up. That was how to do the ollie, the shove it, the 180, and the kickflip. Appreciate you guys for always tapping in, showing love, supporting, all that good stuff. Make sure you guys go follow me on IG and TikTok. It'll be in the description. Peace.